ってる人がいるから助けるっていうのは当たり前かな、できる人がね、できる人ができることをやればいいと思うんです、私たちネパールにもそういうボランティアの気持ちはあるし、ネパールも地震国なので。
Kyodo News English World。
はい、こちらは共同通信英文記者のポッドキャストです。ただいま、英文記者の、ドニカン記者が能登半島の地震の取材で、現地入りした様子を、聞いていただきました。今回は、特別なエピソードとして、ドニカン記者に、現地の、取材の、様子を、インタビュー形式で伺っていきたいと思います。私は、山口祐希と申します。最近まで日本語の記者をしていて海外部に移動してきました。よろしくお願いします。
Hi there, everyone. My name is Eduardo Martinez. I've been here at Kyodo for a couple of years now, and I'm originally from Brisbane, Australia. Nice to meet you all.
そして取材を、実際にされたドニカンさん、今日はよろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
能登半島のその地震で取材に行かれたということですけれども、地震って結構経験されたことありますか
？Okay, no. So I'm originally from Australia, and we don't get earthquakes there at all. So the first time I experienced earthquake was in Japan, actually.
能登の地震の時っていうのは起きた時どういうことをされてました？
I was just at home in my apartment in Tokyo, and I felt some swaying, but it wasn't too severe. It was kind of like being at sea.Just some light swaying, but it lasted for a lot longer than usual, like you feel, yeah.
Had that been one of the biggest earthquakes you'd felt here since you lived here, or?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the longest, I would say. In terms of shaking, I felt stronger ones before, but this one lasted for like a long time, I felt, in terms of earthquakes, like for like 2 minutes or something. Yeah, 2 minutes, yeah.
東京でも揺れたわけですけれども、現地ではかなり深刻な被害が出ていますけれども、取材に行かれたのはいつからいつまででしたか
？So I went from January 22nd to the 24th, so for 3 days, 2 nights. Yeah.
地域としてはどういう場所を主に取材されたんですか？
So I went in from Kanazawa, and then did some reporting from Nanao, which is one of the cities on the peninsula that was also hit by the earthquake, but not as hard as Wajima and Suzu, which are deeper into the peninsula.
現地の状況というのはどういう感じでしたか
？Well, Nanao is the roads are still okay there, and they also resumed the trains the week that I went. So in terms of access, it was okay, it was normal, but still a lot of buildings aren't fixed, and the water hasn't been restored to many houses. And I heard from people there that the water wasn't going to be restored until April, so they were
4月まで水が供給されないということなんですね。これは大変ですね。いろんな水がやっぱりそういう供給されなかったりとか、ライフラインに必要なものが届かないところがまだまだたくさんあるというところなんですね。
Had that been the most severe earthquake damage that you'd ever seen since you've been here in Japan, or?
Yeah, because I'd never gone to an earthquake hit city right after the incident happened. I mean, I did reporting in Tohoku, but that was 10th anniversary, so most of the stuff had been fixed already. But this is the first time that I went there shortly after and saw actual
a disaster zone.
Yeah, buildings on the floor and poles leaning, and I even saw one house that had collapsed on top of a car, and it was just stuck there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really crazy.
今回ドニカンさんが書かれた記事っていうのは能登の観光に焦点を当てた記事だと思いますけれども、どうしてこういう記事を書こうと思われたんでしょうか？
Well, I just thought it'd be interesting to see what sort of tourism had been going on in the Noto, if it was a popular place even before the earthquake. And I know since a lot of the COVID restrictions were lifted, Japan has been booming in tourism.
Yeah.
And a lot of regional areas are relying on tourism to revitalize their areas. So I was just interested in seeing what sort of activities the Noto Peninsula had been doing as well. Yeah.
そうですよね。能登半島はやっぱり結構その訪日客の方で、東京とか大阪とか訪れられる方多いんですけれども、そうじゃないところを行ってみたい人に結構人気のエリアだというふうにも聞いてますね。その日本の自然と街が調和したようなその景色が見えたりとか、いろんなその観光資産がたくさんあるということで、大都市にはない景色を求めて来られる方も多いんじゃないかなと思います。
Yeah, a lot of people go there because they want authentic experiences, Japanese experiences, because the area like Wajima is quite famous for lacquerware, and it has like salt farms and rice fields. So a lot of I think foreigners like to go there to experience the country
and like
authentic
artisanal like handicrafts and things like that, more traditional things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it also has like an onsen and stuff. So yeah.
そういったその観光産業に関わる人たちっていうのはどういうところで悩んでらっしゃったんでしょうかね。
Well, obviously now, especially up deeper in the peninsula, the roads are completely broken, so people can't go there anyway if they wanted. And one of the popular sites in Wajima called the Morning Market, it was completely burnt down by a fire. So it would take years to rebuild that if they even wanted to. Yeah, and I went to Nanao and I talked to some people working in the tourism industry there, and they said that even though a lot of the buildings on the outside, like the ryokans and buildings, even though they are like still standing and they look okay, from the outside, on the inside, it's very, very damaged and messed up, and you probably might need to demolish it anyway. Yeah.
そうなんですね。無事だと思ってもやっぱり中がダメージが大きくて取り壊さなきゃいけなかったりとか、そういうところもあるということで。
I think it's very hard for like people overseas to kind of grasp like how like devastating these kinds of like disasters can be, because having a tsunami like wipe away whole parts of a town or like burn down parts of a city, and for it to take years to rebuild, it seems kind of unbelievable for a lot of people, I think.
そうですよね。その地震があまり、ない地域の人から見れば、日本で地震が起きている様子とか津波が来ている様子っていうのはテレビで見るかもしれないですけど、なかなかちょっと実際に起きているところは想像しにくいかもしれないですね。
Yeah, definitely.
Was that kind of reflected in like the people you spoke to and like the tourists that you spoke to, like in terms of maybe international tourists and local and domestic tourists?
So there's no tourists at the moment in Noto, because they don't have running water, so like nobody's gonna stay there. But in Kanazawa, it's pretty much business as usual for the inbound tourists. So I heard a lot of domestic Japanese travelers cancelled. But in terms of international tourists, most of them just went ahead with their plans because there's no real damage to Kanazawa and all the transport is going as normal. So yeah, it was fine.
なるほど。面白いですね。その国内の人はやっぱり地震のニュースのやっぱり印象がすごいありますから、旅行キャンセルしたりとか観光に金沢あまり、来る方は少ないということですけど、その国外から来る人は結構いらっしゃったということなんですね。
Yeah, so Kanazawa has recently been getting attention as like,
booming quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, as a new golden route. So when people want to go from Tokyo to Kyoto, instead of going through, Nagoya and Shizuoka that way, they would come around like Sea of Japan and go through like Kanazawa and like.
And then from Kanazawa go like down.
Right.
Kyoto.
So that's like the new golden route in recent years. Like so, yeah.
That's interesting. I think that really speaks volumes to the kinds of information we receive, like. Foreign tourists are fine, and I guess they don't really grasp the magnitude, and at the same time Kanazawa is fine, so as long as that's not off limits, then they can go, but then Japanese people are just kind of like steering completely clear of the area.
Right, yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, and I think Kanazawa, the largest nationality in terms of tourists is like Taiwan, I would say, and Taiwan's like an earthquake country as well. So a lot of people are kind of used to earthquakes and stuff. Yeah.
なるほどですね。
So it doesn't really deter them from coming to visit.
Yeah, as long as the transport is running.
そうですね。
Yeah.
やっぱり実際にやっぱりその被災してないエリアには観光客の人が来ることで地元の経済も立て直しができたりとか、そういうことにつながるんですかね。
そうですね。So I think people in the Noto Peninsula are hoping, they're happy that people are still coming to Kanazawa because they hope that, more money comes into the prefecture.
And help them rebuild.
Yeah, they can flow into Noto and help them their recovery. Yeah.
その外国から来た観光客の人たちにも取材をされたということなんですね。
Yes.
そういった方々はあれですかね、その金沢については、地震とか金沢についてはどういうようなお話をしてましたか。
So they all said they planned their trips for a long time, like way before the earthquake. And I mean, obviously they were aware that there would be aftershocks and stuff, but most of them just took it in stride and said, they're willing to take the risk on, it's probably going to be okay. Yeah.
ですね。
I guess Japan is a very earthquake-prone country, so just about anywhere you could get a serious earthquake at any time. So
そうですよね。
it's kind of one of the things you have to be conscious of before you come here, I guess.
Right, yeah.
こればかりは誰にもね予測できないですからね。その他にも七尾で被災者の方のその手助けをされている方にもお会いしたということなんですね。
Yes. So there are quite a few foreigners living in Noto and Ishikawa in general. So in terms of like foreign communities, I mean, Vietnamese is the biggest one, a lot of like technical interns. And then there are also some like Nepalese and other Southeast Asian interns and workers there. So there's this, when I went to an evacuation center in Nanao, I met up with this overseas Nepalese group who was like making Nepalese curry and handing it out to the evacuees. And they'd done the same in Wajima and Suzu earlier in the month. So this is like their third time going to Noto and handing out making curry and distributing it. And then at that time, some local Nepalese that live in Nanao also came to help hand out. Yeah.
それはなんでなんですかね。なんかその被災者の方を助けてくれるというのはすごくありがたい行為だと思いますけれども、日本の人が支援をするっていうよりもあれなんですね。やっぱ外国の方が支援されている光景も結構あったりするということなんですね。
Yes. Because the Nepalese said, they also have a lot of earthquakes, and Japan helped them a lot then, so they wanted to return favor. Yes.
なるほどですね。そういうような厳しい状況の中でもそういうなんか人の人情に触れるような温かい光景が見られたということなんですね。
Had you heard any instances of local Japanese people or local foreign residents planning to leave the area for good, or were they hoping to move back into their homes and stuff once things have recovered a bit more?
Well, I talked to a JET, the JET program, exchange, like the English teachers or like coordinator for international relations in the local governments, and I talked to one guy there who was like a prefectural advisor, so he is a liaison between like the JETs and the prefectural government. And he said at least a third of the JETs that live on Noto, like they can't go home because their houses have been declared like unlivable or something. So I'm not sure if they're going to go home, but I mean they're being supported, I guess, by their school contracting organization and stuff.
But then, they'd likely either be sent somewhere else or perhaps have to go back to their countries, right? Or
I think he said some people are actually like overseas already, like they were overseas during the time of the earthquake because it was like the holidays. And they just haven't come back yet, so they don't even know like the state of their house or anything.
It's very
そうですよね。どうしてもその国内の地震のニュースだと結構日本人の動向みたいなところに注目が集まりがちで、日本で外国人として住んでいらっしゃる方向けの情報ってあまりなかったりすると思うんですけども、やっぱり能登も東京大阪とかほどではないかもしれないですが、やっぱり多くの外国人の方が住んでいらっしゃるということなんですね。
Yeah, there's a lot of interns, technical interns. Yeah.
And yeah, I guess you're right. It stuck. I mean, it happened on New Year's Day, so it's a time when everyone's traveling. Even a lot of Japanese people are heading back to living back at their hometowns, spending the New Year with their families and stuff. So it struck at a really inconvenient time, I think.
Yeah.
ですね。現地の観光として、現地の人が期待していることっていうところは、取材してみていかがですか。やっぱりその観光が元に戻ってほしいということなんですかね。
Yeah, of course, but at the moment they're just taking it day by day because I mean they don't even have water, so and I mean a lot of buildings are still damaged, so I think of course they hope to rebuild and have tourists come again, but I think most people there are just trying to get through every day. Yeah, because without water they can't even like bathe or do laundry or go to the toilet at home. They have to go and get water from these special posts that are set up, and then
a lot of like temporary facilities.
Yeah,
and
then like do their laundry at the coin laundry in another city.
Wow.
So and then come back. Yeah. So.
ドニカさん、地震の取材はこれが初めてになりますか？
Yeah, it's the first time going soon after the earthquake happened. Like I said, I did cover like anniversary of Tohoku earthquake and stuff. But yeah, it's the first time I've gone to the site. Yeah.
その取材を終えられてどうですか？その全体的な印象としてはどういうふうに思いましたか
？Oh, it's very eye-opening. Like I said, seeing like this damage scenes on TV or like pictures is different from seeing it like with your own eyes up close, and you also like feel the, I mean, you feel the atmosphere of what it's like over there and like the general vibe and stuff, and you just see that everyone's just just doing their best to get
kind
by.
of grinding to get by.
But I mean, a lot of people in Nanao were also very they're still very grateful that at least their city wasn't as damaged as other ones like Wajima and Suzu. So even though they're in like sort of difficult situation, they're still trying to be grateful for what they did have. Yeah.
私日本語の記者から英文の記者になってやっぱり思うのは英文の記者で取材されて記事を書くと英語で書くことになるのでやっぱり英語で読む人のことを思ってやっぱり書かないといけないですよね。そういうのがやっぱり日本語で出る情報と違ってすごく多様性にもつながりますし、あと日本に住む外国人の方が入手するその情報としても、すごく役に立つのではないかなと思いました。今回の取材ドニカンさん本当にお疲れ様でした。
お疲れ様でした。
ありがとうございます。お疲れ様です。
はい、共同通信では、共同ニュースプラスというサイトで、日本や世界で起きた出来事について英語のニュースを発信しています。今日ご紹介した記事も、掲載されていますのでぜひチェックしてみてください。それでは皆さん
See you next time.
See you next time.
See you next time.